Am I the idiot for canceling the Mother's Day celebration that I arranged for my wife after hearing what she told my son? I, male 37, have a 13-year-old son. I was a widower when I met my now wife. She has a 16-year-old daughter from another relationship. The family is often on pretty good terms. My son is the quiet one in the house. He keeps to himself a lot but not to the point of being concerning. My wife and stepdaughter are the complete opposite. They both encourage him to be outgoing and share activities and join gatherings with extended family. My son complained about having to be forced out of his comfort zone and having his need for space invalidated. I spoke to both my wife and stepdaughter and asked them to give him space and freedom to spend his time however he wanted. They apologized and promised to let him be. As Mother's Day was approaching, I wanted to throw my wife a surprise Mother's Day celebration. It was no longer a surprise because my stepdaughter gave her the heads so she could prepare. Yesterday I got off work earlier than usual to get the final arrangements done. We planned to celebrate at the restaurant and invited her family there. I had the key, and while I was entering the house through the front door I overheard my wife and stepdaughter talking to my son. My wife was asking my son if he could convince me to let him stay home and not go with them to the restaurant to celebrate. I paused and decided to keep listening. My son said why, and she told him that his introverted and socially inept attitude will make her family uncomfortable and will ruin the mood. He promised her that he'd be well behaved and would try to interact and socialize with everyone, but she said that she wasn't buying it. He kept reassuring her, but she snapped and told him that technically, she's not his mom, so she didn't get why he wanted to celebrate Mother's Day with her so badly. My stepdaughter threw some, "I don't remember," backhanded comments, and then both of them were shocked to see me standing there. Both were staring without saying anything. I told my son and his stepsister to go to their rooms, then told my wife that the celebration was off, and cancelled. She tried to argue, asking why repeatedly, and I told her why. She tried to explain that she didn't mean it like that and that I only heard part of the conversation but not all of it. I told her I was done arguing and the decision was already made. She yelled, asking what she was going to tell her family, and said that I was making a tremendous mistake towards her. I ignored her while she kept throwing tantrum after tantrum. Early this morning she took my stepdaughter and went to stay with her folks. Not a single call or text from her so far. The situation is full of tension. I'm upset still but more hurt, to be honest. I mean, yes, I did say I was going to have this celebration, but I thought that what she said to my son was too harsh to ignore. Commenters reply, and Opt keeps us updated. Not the idiot. Guarantee they have done this before. Circle the wagons, protect your son. Such disgusting abuse from your wife upon your son. To make it even worse, she is raising her daughter to be cruel and exclusionary. Your son deserves so much better. Op replies. From the looks of it, I'm afraid they have, especially my wife. I know her, she can be harsh sometimes. Second reply. Op, you are most definitely not the idiot. Please read this previous poster's first-hand account of how not to protect your child. It's a cautionary tale, and a potential future of yours. Regret as toxic. Regret as corrosive. Regret as shameful. Regret as guilt-ridden. Regret will shave years off of your mental health. Regret is an endless loop of remorseful questions. Questions that will replay over and over again in your mind. Every day, for the rest of your days. If I'd only done this, then I'd still have a relationship with my son. If I could as Lash would as Lash shoulda done that, then I'd still have a relationship with my son. Op. If you don't advocate for your son now, he will never, ever forget it. And he will never have unbroken trust in you again. PP, I'm so sorry your father betrayed you so badly. You deserved unconditional love, protection, and his advocacy. You deserved so much better, and I'm sorry that you never received it. I've been a member of another board for about 10 years and they've always used it there. My sincerest apologies for the confusion. Third reply. Please don't downplay what she did to rationalize staying with her and make your own life easier. You caught her abusing your son. He has probably been doing this behind your back for some time. Do not kid yourself into thinking he would tell you if she had been doing this long term. You are all he has in the world. And his stepmother has already indicated that she would remove him from the family if she had her choice because he's not entertaining enough for her. He is probably terrified you secretly feel the same because you chose this woman to fill the mother role for him. Protect your son. He was there first and needs to be your first priority in every way. That poor child. My heart aches for him. Fourth reply. I'd go further. Get a professional therapist for the son. You have no idea how long this has been going on and may need an impartial third party for the son to talk to. A therapist may be able to sense if your son is holding back from something worse that OP may not be able to pick up on. Get family counseling as well. You must ensure that the stepmom and daughter both can and will change their old habits. Otherwise, it's going to be a silent battle that your son has zero chance of winning. Not to scare you, but my husband and I were good friends with a boy in college whose stepmother had succeeded in convincing everyone that he was antisocial and had no interest in socializing with the family. The bullying went very deep and always happened where the father couldn't see. The rest of the family only took vacations without him that suited their interests, ignored him when he was home, etc. He had a full scholarship, so he moved out and cut contact after he realized he could use his programming skills to be financially independent starting his sophomore year. Fifth reply. Not the idiot. Oh my god. It's highly unlikely this is the first time either of them has been nasty to him. You are all he has in this world. Please hire a really good shark of a divorce lawyer and divorce this woman ASAP. You need to protect your son and yourself. Edit. Change this edit. Get a lawyer now and ask them about having your wife removed from the house. Also, I have had 2 stepmothers in my lifetime, and neither of them ever said anything remotely that shitty. Anyone with remotely decent parental instincts would not say that to a child, even if they themselves were not a parent. OP replies. That is what I'm suspecting too. But my son never told me anything. He still comes to me whenever he's overwhelmed and wants to talk about what's bothering him. Sixth reply. He's probably not coming to you about this because she told him things like you would never believe him over you, or that it's her word against his and no one can prove it, or B, he feels that telling you would cause more issues than he wants to put on you. It's not your fault if he hasn't come forward, and it's not his fault either. People who are being harassed and, I hate to broach this, abused by people that should be family, don't feel safe whatsoever, even if there is someone they can come to about it. Talk to him. Tell him that none of this is his fault and that you are sorry this happened to him. Remind him that he is your first priority, not your wife, and that he can tell you anything. Explain to him that, no matter what he tells you, you are always going to love him and be there for him. A lot of people are saying divorce is the only option here, and I agree. You can love your wife as much as ever, but when it comes down to it, it's a situation where you have to choose between being married to her or protecting your son. She does not care for him, not in the way he deserves from a mother figure. He needs you to come through for him here. Seventh reply. Not the idiot, your poor son. Please tell me you went to talk to him after this. Your wife wants your son left out. I'd be having a serious conversation about that. If she doesn't drop it, if she doesn't start treating your son as a part of the family, I hate to say this, but divorce her, because no woman is worth losing your child over. You're a dual package. Her excuse about him being an introvert was shite. No way in hell he'd ruin dinner by being polite and keeping to himself. She just wanted him out of there. Please be there for your son. She poked a bad wound with her comments. Being reminded you don't have a mother to celebrate on this day is terrible. OP replies. I did. But he preferred to have some space and not talk about what happened till he was ready. It's whenever I'm always available to hear him out. Final reply. Good man. He's processing his emotions and some people can't immediately talk, you know? Just be there for your son, okay? What do you think about treating him to dinner, a special night just for the two of you? Show him he's loved, and that he's your priority. You're not making a tremendous. The only mistake was ever letting her feel comfortable enough to push your boy to the sidelines.